Hello, and welcome to another video from Ellensburg Amplifier Repair and Service. And today I have a Sundown Audio SAZ. I do believe, hold on, let me double check on the cover. So we have an SAE 1100.5. So this is going to be one of the first 5-channel Sundown amps I think I had a video on. This came in with no sound. Sound out of 2 channels only. The rest were non-existent. And it was, yeah, the sub channel here had no output, and these 2 channels here, this one and this one here, had no output. And so I found that it had no input signal. Sometimes when this particular design, when the drivers fail here, it will kick it into protect, so that helps diagnose things. But there's times where you'll fire these things up and you'll have signal here, but it'll stop, and then that's when you have to go in and start replacing your drivers if you have a shorted channel, of course. But this particular design, I think that's probably it's either going to be a 4.7 or a 47 ohm resistor here. This particular design runs these extremely hot. These run hot. So these do have a higher tendency of failure. So, yeah. So, come to find out that the signal, I had signal, there's a row of header pins here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. These first 4 here are your first 4 Class AB channels. So I had a signal here, I didn't have it here, and I had it here, and I had it here. You write on your boards, erase it, guys. It's conductive. So I knew pretty quick what the situation was. It goes back to the switches of these amplifiers. I use my good trusty BW100 contact cleaner. Great stuff. You don't have to worry about any residues and liquids left behind. It doesn't do anything to plastics. It smells bad. It smells like dirt, in my opinion, but it does a great job. So I just took some that BW100, sprayed it into that switch, and lo and behold, I have signal now on all channels. It took a couple cleanings, but let me see if I can get this thing out and show you the size of that switch. There it is. All right, so it's this big switch right here that's got how many contacts? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It's got 14 pins in it. So it's got 14 individual contacts in that slide switch. And over time, stuff builds up in between those slide switches. So this is a slide switch. And over time, what happens is stuff builds up in these tiny little contacts that are down in there. I mean, these contacts are small. And like, for instance, this switch here, you can see the pins underneath are nice and shiny. But when you look inside the switch, the tops of these pins in here are completely oxidized. And that's the problem with these switches, is those contacts, they oxidize. And once they oxidize, you lose signal. And that was the situation with this amp, is I'm going to assume most of these contacts in here oxidized, breaking the signal to this TL072 here. So this op amp here, it looks like it's driving some of these output channels, obviously. So yeah, I shot a bunch of BW100 in there, and what you do is you just run the switch back and forth, back and forth. I mean, just time and time and time and time again, and you're physically using the switch contact over the blade. You're just rubbing that blade to clear that oxidization on that tab. Yeah, and don't be afraid with this BW100. Just spray it right up in there. Run that switch before it dries. stuff evaporates quick. And there it is. I'm going to bet money that this switch now will run for another couple years. I don't. It just depends on the environment that it's in. Sorry for my big bald gray hair head. I know it messes with my exposure of that camera, but if I turn the exposure off on that camera, it goes crazy. Equipment, blah. So that's really what it is, guys. So when you have an amp that comes in, you don't have output, go back and check your preamp. Check your preamp before you start tearing things apart, because it may just be something as simple as a switch needs to be cleaned. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm here for you guys. Even sometimes when I do take a bunch of garbage on my channel, garbage, trust me, I do get it. I still could, push forward. These videos are for you guys. So I do thank you. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. Again, guys, keep your fingers out of the rails. These rails here aren't significantly high, but probably high enough to you can still get a tingle. You tried hard enough. But the bigger amps, they can get you. So stay safe, keep your fingers out of the rails. We'll catch you on the next one.